If I could relive a moment again, I would get back on a stage with Miley Cyrus. I performed with her on New Year's Eve 2 years ago. She's truly the most beautiful human being on the planet, both inside and out. Yeah, I would do that night again. I would do that again. Hey, what's up, MTV? It's Fletcher, and I am here answering 20 questions for 2024.
So why don't you just lead me on? 'Cause something is better than nothing at all.
This new era for me, In Search of the Antidote, is a time about honoring my truth, honoring my body, and listening to myself in ways that I never have before, and just really getting to know myself on a super deep and introspective level. My desire to be so open and vulnerable and a little bit too much information at times came from when I was younger and really just wanting to feel artists being more vocal about what was really actually going on in their lives. And also, I feel like it's something about being from Jersey. We tell it like it is, what you see is what you get, and I feel like that's always come through in my music too. In 6th grade, I wrote a song about heartbreak. I had never kissed anyone, never been in love, never liked it, nothing. But the lyrics were so dramatic. Why should it be so hard to carry on? I need the strength to move along and mend this broken heart. That's the lyric. I'm obviously a Pisces. I was definitely navigating a lot with my health last year, and yeah, there was a moment in time where I definitely felt scared. The way that it was actually affecting my vocal cords, and my voice has always been my biggest instrument of expression. It's so much of what I feel like I came here to do. Because of that, this album just feels like it's the most raw vocal delivery I've ever given, because it just had to come from a different place. Yeah, the Fletch fam runs deep, we're strong. I love them with my whole heart, and I just see them grow up. Jobs that they get, or schools that they get into, or relationships that they have, or relationships that have come and gone. Like, I feel like I know them, like I have such a deeply personal relationship to them. And as I grow, the music grows, they grow, and it's just this like beautiful journey that we get to be on together since the beginning. A through line, at least through my music, is I always like to make a call back to like a previous project or something. So in one of my earliest EPs, I wrote a song called If You're Gonna Lie. On my debut album, Girl of My Dreams, I sampled that chorus of that song and wrote a new song around it called Guess We Lied. On that album, there was a song called Better Version, and then on my most recent album, there's a follow-up to that song called Doing Better. And I was like, okay, if that song is now some other person's gonna get the better version of me, then what is the better version of me doing, and is she actually doing better? And then that song is on In Search of the Antidote. So I always like to follow up with where I left off, let people know how I've evolved and how I've changed. Yeah, working with Carissa on the video was such an incredible experience. I feel like she really brought to life this energy. What the song was about is like me sort of envisioning in my mind what I wanted a friendship to turn into, and it's like, are we both thinking that this is where it's gonna go, this is where it's gonna end? The girl that was the co-star in the video, I had a dream about her like weeks prior, about being in like a red bedroom with her. I like met this girl at a party, and then I had a dream about her. And I DM'd her and I was like, you were in my dream last night. And then I didn't even have the treatment for the music video yet. And then I saw the house that Carissa picked, and it looked exactly like the bedroom that was in my dream. And so then I was like, wait a second, I think I dreamed about the music video and this girl that I met. Yeah, it came to life. So I do be psychic through my dreams. You can book an appointment with me whenever you'd like. Let's see your future. You know, I don't know if I'm the girl to give the best relationship advice given my discography, but if fans run into their ex at a show, I feel like that's really likely at a Fletcher show. The amount of signs I see while I'm at shows of people being like, I'm here with my ex. And I'm like, you're nuts, but also feels on brand. I don't know, maybe just like leave the past in the past. Maybe a beautiful friendship will come out of it, but like focus on the future. And yeah, I did run into an ex at a Taylor Swift concert at the Eras tour. I went to the studio the next day and wrote a song called The Eras of Us. The Eras of Us was the leading single of this project because I feel like a big part of In Search of the Antidote, a theme was like closing doors. And Eras of Us felt like it was the closing of a door and picks up where I left off in the Girl of My Dreams era, the Becky So Hot era, sort of a reflection of that time. The person stealing the keys in Joyride is a recent ex. I do believe people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. As humans, we each go through seasons. I'm somebody who's just like constantly going through a season in my life and then allowing a chapter to close and moving on to what's fresh and what's actually alive for me. That's such a good question. Crush is one of the only songs I've ever written that isn't about a specific person. It was sort of just about a feeling, that desire to have a little bit of questionably unhealthy chaos in relationships as I'm learning to heal my relationship to relationship. And I'm like, whoa, is there a world where like passion and something being healthy exists? And Crush was sort of reflecting on that feeling and like pondering that question. Yeah, I just love to pick people whose music inspires me. All my family, all my friends come, people who have meant something to me. I've collaborated, with Olivia O'Brien. I've written a bunch of songs with Upsall. G-Flip came out and opened for me on tour. Maud Latour is gonna open for my tour that's happening in the fall. Get tickets, come see me, we can party. I love being a fangirl. I arguably love being a fangirl more than I love being on the stage. Yeah, I was like singing side stage so hard, fangirling for G, for Maud. I love to hype up my friends. I like to be on the other side of it. Okay, the human mic stand. Let me paint the scene. I have a song called Becky So Hot, and there's just this move that has developed during the second verse. The lyric is, I used to wear it too, yeah, it's the cropped one, with the red Corvette, someone new riding shotgun. And I straddled the mic stand and, just give it a little ride. So people started dressing up as mic stands. People started bringing signs that said, can I be your human mic stand? And so, yeah, there was a couple times on stage where some people were the human mic stand and they got on their knees and just held up the microphone that I sang into. And yeah, it was absolutely chaotic and so fun. I launched an initiative called Meet Her at the Bar, raising awareness for female and queer-owned bars around the country because there's so few. All the proceeds have gone to GLAAD. The Lipstick Lounge in Nashville was one of my favorites. It's so much fun. And then Cubby Hole in New York City. Ginger's in Brooklyn is also such a vibe. So yeah, go support your local queer bars, your local lesbian bars. I am deeply obsessed with Troye Sivan. His album, Something to Give Each Other, will for sure be my most played album of the year. I would love to do a song with Troye.
We need it tomorrow.
Me too. Needed it yesterday. First of all, go off vocals. Second of all, I grew up listening to Kelly Clarkson. She was such a big inspiration for this album. Yeah, it was a big pinch me moment because Kelly Clarkson is one of the most incredible vocalists, truly of all time. Also, I was like, this is iconic at the beginning of Pride Month, her singing Becky So Hot. You know what you're doing, girl. Yeah, I would love to act again after guest starring in The L Word as myself, to play a role that's not myself, because sometimes I get sick of me and I'm like, shut up, Carrie. Casting director, call me. I'm definitely a night owl. I get like really weird ideas at night and I always write them all down in my notes app. And some of those turn into songs and some of them turn into conversations with my therapist. I always have a crystal with me. I have one in my back pocket right now. What is it? Hold on, she's under my butt. Yeah, this is Ocean Jasper, and it's really good for like a busy, racy mind. Yeah, it's like calming for anxiety, so we just grab onto her when we're a little nervous. For me in the past, writing about breakups has always been something that's so easy to write about because it's also such a version of therapy, but I want to enter an era of my life where I get to write about me being happy. That's what's on the horizon. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can listen to my latest album, In Search of the Antidote, out now.